Today's guest of honor, General Hasan Kuchuk, the commander of Turkish Air Force, distinguished ambassadors, my dear colleagues from AMAK, the Ankara Military Attaché Corps, officials from Turkish Armed Forces and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, civilian dignitaries, defense industry executives, officers from Bangladesh Defense Services Command and Staff College, Directorate General of Forces Intelligence of Bangladesh, and from Bangladesh Ministry of Commerce and Industries, and also from Bangladesh Audit Board. All members of our embassy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, ve yak shamla. The Embassy of People's Republic of Bangladesh, I welcome you all in today's reception to celebrate with us the 48th Armed Forces Day of Bangladesh. Hosh geldiniz. We will begin our program with national anthems. The day of 21st November 1971 has a special significance in the history of Bangladesh and is being celebrated every year with due solemnity and importance to honor the sacrifices made by the members of Bangladesh Armed Forces who fought gallantly alongside other Bengali freedom fighters and sacrificed their lives for the cause of our beloved motherland. This special day would remain imprinted in the hearts of Bengali people, especially the members of Armed Forces of Bangladesh, following the partition in 1948. After 23 years of ceaseless freedom struggle until 1971, the War of Liberation began on the 26th March of 1971 with the great call of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, for a complete freedom from the atrocities caused by the occupied forces. It was a 9 months long armed struggle of the Bengali freedom fighters and the Bengali Armed Forces units. At a later stage of the war, on the 21st November 1971, the final combined military offensive by Army, Navy and Air Force of the Liberation Forces of Bangladesh, supported by our great neighbor India, commenced. The simultaneous actions of Army, Navy and Air Force gained offensive towards ending the War of Liberation. And finally, we got our victory on 16 December 1971 and got an independent Bangladesh. The day also inspires the members of the present armed forces in protecting sovereignty of Bangladesh and assisting global peace through peacekeeping operations under United Nations and Operation Kuwait reorganization under bilateral agreement. After the independence of Bangladesh, the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, visualized the need for a strong armed forces for Bangladesh. As a result, Bangladesh Armed Forces was given the highest priority for modernization. The ongoing modernization program of our armed forces, named Forces Goal 2030, under the leadership of our present Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, the daughter of our father of the nation, has strengthened our forces both in quality and quantity. Today, the testimony of our professionalism and competence lies on Bangladesh being the world's topmost troops contributing countries in the field of United Nations peacekeeping operations around the globe. Presently, we have about 14,000 armed forces personnel deployed all over the world and in conflicting zones of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say a few words on the current bilateral military relation between Turkey and Bangladesh. The military cooperation activities between our armed forces have significantly increased during the last few years. For example, participation in different training activities like courses and exercises, conduct of military visits, attending seminars, symposium, workshops, and defense hardware exhibitions. For the first time, Bangladesh Armed Forces took part in the biggest live firing exercise named Exercise FS in 2018 and also in winter exercise named Exercise Kish in December 2018. Our defense advisor to Honorable Prime Minister Major General retired Tariq Siddiq and the Chief of Army Staff General Aziz Ahmed witnessed the winter exercise. In the upcoming exercise FS 2020, we will have enhanced participation where we are expecting one of our naval frigates and C-130 transport aircraft. During last 1.5 years' time, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, including other senior officers from Bangladesh have officially visited Turkey. Bangladesh Armed Forces have been procuring different types of defense hardware from Turkey for many years that are developed in various United Nations, those are deployed in various UN peacekeeping operation missions, and they are functioning very effectively. General Staff and the government of Turkey of their extreme cooperation and assistance for enhancing military ties between our two countries. May we also assure of our further military cooperation in the days ahead. Finally, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all members of the embassy, I thank you all for attending our Armed Forces Day reception and making the event so meaningful today. Special thanks to our honorable guest of honor, General Hasan Kuchukakyus, the Turkish Air Force Commander. Despite his tremendous busy commitment, he has been with us today. We are really grateful to you, sir. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind presence. We are also thankful to the Hotel Authority of Metropolitan Hotels Ankara for extending all kinds of supports to organize this event. Now I request our ambassador, His Excellency Mr. M. Allama Siddiqui, to say a few words on this occasion.
Defense Attaché of Bangladesh to Turkey, Brigadier General Tariqul Alam, Excellencies, members of Bangladesh Armed Forces present here as part of their visit to Turkey from DSCSC, our colleagues from various civil departments, including the Audit Department of Bangladesh, ladies and gentlemen, Hoş geldiniz, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you to the celebration of Bangladesh Armed Forces Day. At the outset, I would like to pay respect, dearest respect, fondest respect to the memories of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, for leaders from which Bangladesh Armed Forces developed is truly memorable and truly a source of inspiration for the whole nation. As the General has mentioned before me, Bangladesh Armed Forces have come of age. Now we have a tremendous force to be proud of. A nation is grateful to its armed forces for their valiant role in 1971 and also beyond 1971. Whenever the nation needs them, they are always at the beck and call of the nation. And I would not prolong my speech, I would only say that Bangladesh is now progressing as one of the fastest growing economies in the world. I would only refer to only simple one study jointly done by World Bank, IMF and JP Morgan, in which it has been shown that over the last 10 years, over the last 1 decade, Bangladesh aggregate GDP growth was the highest in the world, 188% from its 10-year before the benchmark that it had back in 2008 and 9. So that is how we are trying to change the face of the country under the leadership of our great Prime Minister, Honorable Sheikh Hasina. We are a nation of 165 million. We are not a big country in terms of land area, but we have one of the best assets in the world, our population. Very hardworking, resilient, and adjustable. We also are blessed by Almighty Allah with a great soil, the finest soil in the world, a soil, a fertile land that can grow food for all its people. We are not a country that goes without food. So before I conclude, I would say that come and see Bangladesh, please. See Bangladesh for your own pleasure. See Bangladesh for your own benefits. Because the Bangladesh that you see today will not be the same after 10 years. It will be altogether a very, very different country, inshallah. And I would also like to mention a bit about our relations with Turkey. We are a great friend with Turkey. Turkey and Bangladesh have a very long, solid bedrock of relations. Our relations are actually spilled over so many areas. So many facets are there which glorify our relations, starting from political relations down to development assistance and relations, economic relations, commercial relations, and of course, defense relations. These relations are growing in every possible way. Just to mention that yesterday we had the 5th Joint Economic Commission meeting in Ankara, which was led by Turkish Honorable Minister for Culture and Tourism. On our side, it was led by the Honorable Minister of Finance of Bangladesh. It was a very fruitful discussion, and at the end of the day, we could come to this conclusion that we have much more to do than what we have been able to do so far. So we are looking forward to a greater relations with Turkey, our brotherly country. I would stop here. Once again, thank you for your attendance. Hope you will enjoy the food. And I am sure the General has some genuine and very creative ideas in offering the food to us. Definitely you will enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you very much for your kind presence.
Saygıdeğer diğer büyükelçiler, ateşeler, bayanlar, baylar, hem Bangladeş hem Türk Silahlı Kuvvetleri'ndeki silah arkadaşlarımız, Bangladeş'in Silahlı Kuvvetleri Günü sebebiyle yaşadığı mutluluğa ortak olmak için, sizlerle beraber olduğum için Türk Silahlı Kuvvetleri adına saygılar ve sevgilerimi sunuyorum. Türk ve Bengal ulusları arasındaki ilişkiler Bangladeş'in kurulmasından öncesine dayanan bu köklü tarihi ve kültürel temellere sahiptir. Biz Türkler özellikle Kurtuluş Savaşımızda bize maddi ve manevi yardımda bulunan Bangladeş halkının yardımlarını hiçbir zaman unutmadık ve unutmayacağız. Türk halkı, Bangladeş halkının Kurtuluş Savaşımıza verdiği desteği ve Atatürk'e duyduğu saygıyı daima minnetle anmaktadır ve anacaktır. Arasında mevcut dost ve kardeş ilişkileri dün bugün olduğu gibi yarın da kararlılıkla devam ettirilecektir. Ben Türk Silahlı Kuvvetleri adına Bangladeş Silahlı Kuvvetleri'nin kuruluş yıl dönümünü en içten dileklerimle kutluyor. Bundan sonraki günlerinin de başarılarla dolu olmasını diliyor. Tüm misafirlerimize saygı ve sevgilerimi sunuyorum. Günlerin Bangladeş halkının ve Türk halkınınla birlikte tüm ulusların olmasını diliyorum.